between two conflicting estimates. Somebody is lying.
Okay, we're talking more about cancel culture now. We got a homie. His name is Adam Corolla. Let's look this fool up real quick. Adam Corolla. Boom, boom, bang, boom, sis, boom, bang. Adam Corolla, sis, boom, bang, Wikipedia. Okay, here we go. Boom, Adam Corolla, 1964. He's got that boomerness to him. American radio personality, actor, podcaster, Adam Corolla Show, a talk show distributed in podcast, which set a record as the most downloaded which set the record as the most downloaded podcast. Whoa, this fool is like, bro, that's what I'm saying. That right-wing stuff, it be selling like hotcakes. He co-hosted a show, Loveline. I do remember that. Loveline with Drew Lipinski. People would call in about their love problems. I did like that show when I was a kid. The Man Show, I didn't really watch that. Adam McCrory. I kind of fell out after I knew Loveline when I was a kid. I just, I don't know, whatever his comedies, whatever was with his comedy, I just never struck with me. And I mean, I guess growing up now, I kind of understand why. You know, he's like cancel calm. You know, he's like one of those ones who's worried about cancel culture. He was in a few movies, so I mean, he's had a career. She's done stuff. He's in this show. One of my homies watches Mike Tyson's Comedy and Mysteries or whatever. It's like this silly kind of Mike Tyson show that he's in. He plays like this pigeon or something. And I mean, the show's not unfunny. Let's see. Oh, maybe he doesn't. I thought he was in that Mike Tyson's Mysteries. Let me look at that. Mike Tyson's Mysteries. Oh, Norm Macdonald. Okay. Norm Macdonald. Yes, he's actually he's actually like, he's cool. He's kind of weird. He's cool. My bad. I thought he's not even in Cosby. Okay, so there's actually really not a lot redeeming about Adam Carolla. Anyway, he's one of those guys he's one of those white guys, cancel culture. He's one of those old schoolers who's like, you know, back in the day, shit used to be something or other, and now everyone's a pansy. You know, kind of one of those everyone wants a trophy, and he's got to cry because everyone got a trophy, and that's like ruining youth culture, is the fact that everyone's getting, I don't know, whatever. Okay, so let's find some tremendous video of his stand-up comedy, because this is someone who, you know, worries about being canceled. He was one of the people at Cancel Con, I believe, at the Dennis Prager, Ben Shapiro, David Rubin. I don't know if there's another person there. But yeah, they were all getting canceled. So check this out. We got a YouTube video, and we're gonna watch a little bit of Adam Carolla's comedy, because, you know, I think if he's worried about getting canceled, he probably has some sort of edgy comedy that's like, it's really funny, but it's riding the edge, and like, you probably want to like, make sure that he doesn't say everything, because you know, it's too edgy, and like we might be stifling his creativity. So let's look at his comedy and like try and kind of see what it's all about.
A few years ago, my son played the world's worst sport. Like, I used to think soccer was the world's worst sport, but as it turns out, it's not. It's fucking T-ball. T-ball's like, there's nothing worse than watching 6-year-olds play baseball, but they've removed the one possible exciting element from it, which is pitching and swinging a bat. The one fun thing, the one exciting thing about baseball, they've eliminated it. They put it on a piece of PVC pipe. They set it there.
Okay. So right out, the premise is that t-ball is not an exciting sport. So basically, when you take your children to do youth sports, it's not to get exercise, make new friends, experiment with new activities that they may or may not like. It's to entertain, to make sure dad's entertained. Right, because I'm coming to take you to t-ball instead of watching the freaking baseball game. Like the Dodgers are playing on TV, the Mariners are playing, and if I've got to sacrifice that, I darn near want something close to it, motherfucker. Don't be like this bullshit with the ball on the tee. God damn it! The only exciting thing is the pitching. You done taking that out. Have you seen freaking 3 and 5, 4, 5-year-olds try to throw shit with accuracy? Like, whatever. I know it's a joke, but it's just like it's not funny. Like why should you be entertained by your kids going to like that? The premise is like I should be entertained by my kids' sports activities, and it's not entertaining. Isn't that annoying? How watching kids' sports is just so not fun.
The kid gets up. He's 5. Oh, can I say this, by the way?
Again, when you're doing comedy, like, it's probably good to try to reach the broadest scope as possible. To me, this seems like a very narrow scope. Like soccer dads who are also now doing t-ball. And you're not even kind of making it universal. Like we just, if you don't have a kid, you're just not going to experience t-ball, or you're going to have been a kid who played t-ball. And so like, why are you going to care from the perspective he's talking about? You're going to be the kid from that perspective. So there's just not that many people who can relate to this type of whatever. I mean, it's just one joke. Who cares?
Wait, there is no reason for any adult male to ever watch a t-ball game unless they're directly related to a player on the field. Jesus goddamn Christ. When I'm in charge, I'm going to do a fucking sweeping and mop of those places. I see any fucking weird dude with a racing form in his back pocket and a Tipperillo, I'm just watching, I'll arrest your ass right now.
Okay, so if there are any adults, like, why is that something you would think of? Like, is that something that usually happens when the t-ball's around? You're usually attracting a lot of grown-ups that shouldn't be there. Like that it happens so frequently. You know how it is when you form a t-ball team and then a bunch of guys swarm around who don't know anybody. You know, guys, you can relate to that. T-ball team starter. When I start a team, no pedophiles. I tell you what, we're gonna say no to fucking our kids, man. Ha 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 ha! What a joke! Ha ha! Did you get the comedy of it?
I'll do the exact same thing I did with rounding up deadbeat dads. I just do a fucking thing. My plan was I just put a big sign in front of the Coliseum and say, cockfights free for Raiders fans. And anybody who shows up, we fucking arrest.
He went there, bro. Oh, it's so fucking racist, man. I know. Even white guys who can be Raiders fans who like cockfights, right? You see how many addendums he added there? That's like his audience knowing, it's probably Mexicans who like the cock. We'll round up deadbeat Mexicans and maybe we'll get some Filipino. We'll get some browns. We'll get some browns in that for sure. We'll round up some browns. But because the comedy is you can't say brown, so let me say it with other words. Cockfights for Raiders fans at the Coliseum, and in the black part of town, in the like brown part of town. I'm a whole cockfights for Raiders fans. And then even though his shit is stupid and fucking racist as shit, it's still so regional, right? It's still so super, like, that's a Cali joke. Like, that's like a super Cali joke, like back in the day. Like, the Raiders have moved to Nevada now, so I don't know that joke is timeless like that. I don't know that, like, the Raiders are in Las Vegas now, so obviously that joke would have passed its time. But I mean, even still, it's just so Oh, it's like when I hear stuff like that, you're just like, put your head down. You're like, oh my God, this shit is funny. This shit's funny to him. Like, for sure. His shit is like, he thinks like, I'm fucking doing my comedy set and people are laughing.
When they're up to something, they're deadbeat dads, there's something going on.
Yeah, that laughter is like so sickening. It's so gross to me. I'm like, ugh.
My son,
Like his biggest laugh so far has been on some racist shit. Like of all the jokes he's told right now, that one got the biggest response. You know what kind of crowd you're dealing with. He knows his audience. Kudos to him.
my son gets up to bat. He hits the stand that the ball is on. Not the ball, the stand, the pedestal. The fucking thing falls forward. The ball dribbles toward the pitcher. The pitcher's not engaged because the pitcher's not pitching. He's just fucking chasing a butterfly someplace. We have to yell. By the way, can I say this? I know, we're all fucking rich whitey out here and everything like this. I know, I'm serious.
At least the motherfucker admitted it.
If kids, they're too young for sports if we have to yell at them what to do every stage of.
Why are you yelling? Why do you have to yell things? Why again, it's because you're conservative. You can't explain things. They can yell, they can insult, they can complain. They can't explain. So that's why he uses the term yelling. Why would you yell at a child? Because you're expecting to watch a T-ball game and expect it to be some sort of perfect performance when they're just kids running around outside. Like, can you not extrapolate some positives like, oh, they're outside playing in the sunshine rather than sitting on a couch watching TV? That's not good enough for him. They must also be performing at a level in my mind which I deem them to be ready to perform at. This kind of parent, because again, I've been a teacher for years. I've coached soccer, which he says he hates, right? So he would hate me. Been a soccer coach. But again, like, this is the kind of parent as a child care professional, you cannot stand this type of parent. Like, as someone who's worked with children, this kind of assholey, super patriarchal, macho man type of dad. He's the kind of dad we all talk shit about when he leaves. Like, we'll talk to you, we'll be all kind to you, run in your face, but we'll when you leave, we're all just like, yeah, that kid's gonna have an intense one at home. Glad I don't have to eat dinner at their table. And you be feeling for that kid, because kids, they're not intense like him. Kids aren't like that. You know what I mean? Like this, like, why aren't you hitting the ball? Why did you hit the stick? My God, what a freaking nightmare.
Of the game. The fucking guy hits the ball. Huh? What's going on? Run! No, not to third base. No, like, they're too young. They don't fucking know. Leave them alone. Let them stay home and play with fucking Legos or some shit. They're fucking telling them what to do every step of the way. So everyone's.
Oh my gosh, having to see what I mean? See, he's even describing it. The idea of having to tell someone what to do, teaching, helping them, teaching. That is so distasteful for him that he needs to make it into this ranting comedy. I've had enough of that. Like, you can watch Adam Corolla if you think he's, and that was one of his better ones. Okay. And then what I did when I watched, I just went to an actual good comedian, an actual solid comedian, who's actually funny. Okay. And I went to this guy. You may know him. He's an older school comedian. He's rest in peace, died in the 90s. Very, very funny man. This is a man called Bill Hicks. And just this is what comedy is. This is what someone who is funny is. Because in comedy, you're still allowed to rant and complain about shit. And you're still allowed to have gripes. That's the beauty of comedy. You talk about your gripes in a funny way. But listen to this compared to Adam Carolla's shit. And, you know, it's not fair to compare him to Bill Hicks, because Bill Hicks is actually one of the better ones. And again, this is a subject that someone like Adam Carolla would never talk about. Anti-intellectualism, please.
It's great to be here. I thank you. I've been on the road doing comedy for 10 years now, so bear with me while I plaster on a fake smile and plow through this shit one more time. Teasing, it's magic every show. I love being a comedian. It's the greatest job in the world, really. I love the hour, you know. The greatest thing about it is I don't have a boss. That's a definite plus in a lifestyle, man. You know, every job I ever had with bosses, I was always harassed. Hicks, how come you're not working? I go, there's nothing to do. Well, you pretend like you're working. Well, why don't you pretend I'm working?
See what I'm saying? We don't even need I could sit here and like obviously dork out on this because this shit is legit funny. But I mean, like, look at this. Like within like a minute, he's like just boom hitting you with jokes. Hecka funny. Like I love doing comedy. I love work, the hour of work, you know, like it's the greatest hour to work, you know, whatever. He's making jokes about just working for an hour. He's already relating to like working a crummy job where your boss is telling you to do nonsense shit that you like. So many more people are right off if I didn't know anything about anybody and I just walked into a room, these people were black, they were white, they were Asian, they were men, they were women, they were straight, they were gay, they were trans. And I said, fuck a boss, right? That's just universal, no matter who I'm banging with, right? Like that's the mind of someone who gets how to relate to the average person. To come in and talk about how T-ball sucks, how soccer sucks, but T-ball sucks more, and I hate watching my kid to play T-ball. It's such a narrow room that you're going to talk to. You know what I mean? This guy's getting a rapturous applause on his like, why don't you pretend I'm working? You know, it's like you see the difference. Like within 30 seconds, 60 seconds of comedy, we haven't even watched his whole video, has given you more comedy than I could get out of 10 videos of Adam Corolla with his meandering, lazy, complain about your kids not achieving at the level you want nonsense. Okay? So this is the difference between a conservative type of comedian, someone who cries about being canceled, someone who cries about it needs so much so he needs a cancel con, versus a Bill Hicks, who was just a straight gangster with it, went on the stage and understood how to relate to people and how to make them laugh. The rest of that skit is super funny. It's called Anti-Intellectualism. You can easily find it on the internet, and I'll put a link to it in the bio. But that's why I made this, because these people who get canceled, like you saw the video, I made a video earlier about the kid who got canceled. It's like, you don't have any talents. You notice how someone like Bill Hicks is never going to cry about that stuff because he's talented. He doesn't need to sit there and cry about what he can't say. He can just find more clever ways. He can use his mind to find a clever way to say something he was going to say before and say it in a subversive way. You know, and the thing is, like, we have George Carlin, a tremendous person, a ranter who is also very funny. You can do ranting, complaining comedy and still be funny and still be edgy. It's just that you have to be smart to do it. People who cannot do all three of those things at once just aren't smart. And rather than stop being lazy and figure out mentally with your intellect how to overcome these supposed hurdles that the cancel culture is, why not be smarter than cancel culture and still be able to say what you want in a subversive way, but you've used your clever intelligence to reframe your jokes and say them in new ways and stick it to the face of the people who would otherwise censor you. That's what a George Carlin would have done. And instead of using George Carlin as like, why not be more like him, you're trying to drag it down to be like, let's cry about the lowest common denominator, some SJW with blue hair that I've made up in my mind that doesn't like comedy, right? It's like, that's what I'm saying. These people are weak, and you can see it. You can see back to back the two styles. One. I mean, Bill Hicks, I don't know if he's a lefty or whatever, but he kind of has that vibe to him. But Adam Carolla's made no mistake with where he was. He's on the cancel culture side. You see what these cancel culture clowns are all about. My nieces and nephews, I love you very much.